Previously on MakeShift SMP, we began laying out the interior to our brand new starter base with lots of automation and a brand new storage system. Using the power of the factory gauge, we have started the automation process for so many items. And in today's episode, we rehash one of the best mechanics in the Create mod, the all-powerful Toolbox. And we finish it off with the most revolutionary discovery I've ever made. Welcome back, ladies, ladies, and gentlemen. I'm Vi, and this is Vi Plays Create on the MakeShift SMP. I am coming at you from my beautiful new workshop, and boy, do I love this thing. I've started passively crafting some items. I went ahead and swapped this out for some glass, reorganized a little bit. It's maybe a little bit more confusing now, but at least I'm using less factory gauges this way. And I've recently installed a couple new things. This right here is an automatic casing creator, specifically for Andesite casing. I don't actually have anything set up for the other ones, but this is the one that I use the most by far. And essentially, this one works the same as all the other ones. There's an input, it passes it along its processes, it strips the log first, then it goes ahead and deploys some andesite alloy, and then it ships it off via an outport. And I'm stocking the deployer here the same way I do the precision mechanism crafter. I just have a hopper running into the side, barrel on top with a gauge for how many we want to keep inside that barrel. And yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it. And with the Dreams and Desires mod, I found that we have an ultra fast mixer. Ultra fast. This thing, it's like twice as fast as the normal ones. And watch how fast this processes. That was an entire stack of bamboo processed that fast. I freaking love this thing. I have also added a couple new mods, as you may have already been able to tell. Ooh. You hear that? Probably not, because I have it turned like way down. I don't want it to be like obtrusive. Yeah, I added the sounds mod, which is actually kind of fun. So now whenever I get like a little extra sound, and I went ahead and added like particular and a couple other things. But over here, I actually installed a secondary crafter. And what I've started doing through these factory gauges is whenever I need to craft something, instead of labeling it for a specific crafter, I go ahead and name it Vi_craft. And if I give it an asterisk, it'll send it to either of these. Same for this one, and this one, and this one. So anything with these letters in the beginning part of the word is where it'll send it. And before I get too much into talking about what we're going to talk about today, yeah, it's freaking sick. I got a comment in the last video kinda calling me out. And you know what? It was completely warranted. It was completely warranted. I installed my steam engine down here inside the ship. I only gave it 6 steam engines. Now, I don't know if I can actually squeeze 3 more of these in here, but I want to try because I am losing out on like 50,000 stress units. There we go. There's the steam engines. And now I just have to get the chain drive back installed, I think. There we go. And now I'm actually using the full 147,000 stress units. It's kind of hard to get in there, but that's fine. Totally works. So thank you for that comment. Sorry I'm an idiot. And now I think we can finally talk about what I want to talk about today. Y'all know my affinity for Create mod toolboxes. And if you don't, I have a lot of affinity. I have much affinity for Create mod toolboxes. They're kind of incredible. They're how I do pretty much everything. You know what the pain is with Create mod toolboxes? Restocking. And with the capabilities of Create 6.0, we have a way to automatically restock these toolboxes, which I'm just going to take a second. I want you to fully realize how awesome this is. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about auto-restocking on their toolboxes. I think I've heard people voice frustrations about it. I don't think anybody has ever really found the solution. And I think I might have found something. If you're new here, hi, welcome in. This is my mobile storage room. In my previous series, I had like an entire workshop that I could pick up and carry with me. Don't worry, I plan to do that very soon. But for now, I just wanted to have something that I could kind of carry around with me that also had my toolboxes on top of it. Meaning if I ever need to go somewhere else in the world and create a contraption, all I have to do is pick this guy up and bring it with me. And what I've done here in my starter base is I have added 8 packagers. I can only fit 8 toolboxes in my little selector here. And even the 8 toolboxes actually aren't completely filled out. Like there's a couple in here that I have just missing slots on. I don't really know what to put in them right now. I'm sure eventually I'll actually figure out what I want to put in there. But in the previous episode, I kind of had a bit of an idea. I was talking with my friend Matter, and we had some thoughts about how we could auto restock them. Now, my idea originally was, I don't know if you ever watch Etho. I feel like as a Minecraft YouTuber, asking people if they've ever watched Etho is like kind of a stupid thing to ask. But Etho has a shulker box storage system in his ender chest. Now, pretending this is a shulker box, whenever he has his shulkers, he sets out specific items inside his shulker box, and when he pulls from them, he always leaves a slot in their inventory. And that would actually kind of mimic what a toolbox can do, because a toolbox, even if it completely runs out of an item, it will hold its filter. Now, what I was thinking is that I could take a toolbox, and obviously I wouldn't need all these hoppers for a toolbox because there's only 8 slots, but I could automatically restock using a similar system by just never letting the items inside of this deplete. Because if there is a stack of each of these, and I stock the area above, even if the items start to run down, it'll never actually lose its filter, which that is still a pretty valid way to do this. If you want to restock your toolboxes, all you need is 2 hoppers, and then as long as you keep the items stocked in the double chest above it, you never really have to worry about losing that filter. But then I had the even better idea. Couldn't I just put a packager on top with a frog port and some factory gauges? And like this to this point was kind of impossible for me because I didn't really know how factory gauges worked, but I figured them out a little bit, and I think I can officially auto restock my toolboxes, and that's freaking sick. And it's so intuitive. Like, I've seen a million people do stuff like this, but enough gabbing about it. Let's dig into the mechanics of this, shall we? Here in my workshop starter base, I have 2 separate systems. They both pull from the same storage. So if I was to go into this one, I wouldn't see any more items than if I was looking inside this one, but this stock keeper, and subsequently the stock ticker, is connected to an entirely separate network of packagers. And that's for a couple different reasons. Essentially, if I want packages delivered to me up at my console up there, I want those packages to be delivered fast. So I have below me here, it's actually kind of hard to see. Below me here, I have a minecart contraption holding portable storage interfaces at either ends of this long pipe. One of them is delivering packages to me, meaning it's pretty much instantaneous anytime I pull packages from my system. But if I want them delivered to an automation network, I'm using these packagers up here, meaning that they're never going to coincide. They're never going to interact, these 2 separate systems. This system up here is for all of the passive automation that I want to do. What I set up in the previous episode was a litany of different modules that I can use to create items. I have an auto press here. I have something to process rose quartz here with my grindstones or grind wheels, whatever the heck those are called. I have an automatic rolling mill. I have auto saws, and all of those output to the single bus line that sends any and all items that we process in this area back to the main storage network, meaning that most everything that I put in my toolboxes can be automated here. I just got to add a module for it, or I just have to add a crafting recipe for it, because this works off the same principle. Using the factory gauges, I can automatically craft any of these items and send them right over into my storage system. The only difference with this system here is that I'll be naming the frogs above them and having them auto transport to these right here. And all I have to do is specify the amount that I want in this, probably in items. I don't think I'll ever really want less than 100. And if I go ahead and call this Vi Orange Toolbox, this is going to be where it sends the items to when they are requested. If I then give that same address to the restocker factory gauge, whenever I dip below the 100 items that I want to keep stocked in this toolbox, the system will automatically craft and then transport them over to here. And I'm just now realizing, I definitely didn't attach these guys to the chains. I should probably do that first. Is this making sense so far? Are you confused? Are you lost? If you are, I don't blame you. I'm trying my best. I'm new to this whole describing how everything works to people who are watching my videos thing. And with all of these guys connected to our chain network, I can go ahead and give all of them names. Now, what I did before I started recording here in this episode is I added factory gauges to each one of these that'll restock the items that are inside. Essentially, all I have to do for that is grab a factory gauge, attune it to the same network, and then place it on the packager. After I attune something to that network, I can take the item that I want restocked inside of it, and then I go ahead and assign it to the factory gauge. And then from there, it's as simple as giving this guy the name of the frog above it, and then giving it a target amount that I want to pull from the storage. So it's going to actually start, and since I already actually have this auto-crafted, it's going to start sending these over. Check this. Look at this. And now it's going to start auto-crafting all of these stock tickers, or stock whatever the heck these are called. Oh my god. And it's going to stock this automagically. Now, this process is going to be a little bit slow because this is my starter workshop. So for now, this will have to do. But this does mean that I can pretty much start auto-crafting any of the items that I have in here. Again, it'll be really slow, so I probably won't do that, but I can. Also, it'll totally deplete all of my materials. Like, I don't want to do this for more than a couple items because I don't have a lot of things automated. And by that, I mean I have absolutely nothing automated. I'm purchasing pretty much all of my materials from other people at this point, which is kind of the way I want it. Don't think that I'm like losing out or something. No, I did this on purpose, guys. Relax. Economy. Now, if you've played with this mod before, this might make a reasonable amount of sense to you, but like, you're gonna have to tell me in the comments, is this something you guys knew about? Or did I like actually make like a semi-discovery type of thing? Or better yet, if you have another creative and awesome way to use factory gauges that I don't know, tell me. I want to know. Oh my God. Wait, it's stocked. That's so cool. Okay, now one caveat I do have with this system is that you have to have two faces of the packager accessible for factory gauges, meaning the ones that I have on either side here, that one there, and this one here, they only have this one face accessible to factory gauge. Now, technically, yeah, I can like hop over here to the inside, but I could only put factory gauges on one of these faces, and then I wouldn't be able to put them over here. See? Yeah, it just don't work. But again, these ones on the sides here, I don't really think that I'm going to be using all that much auto-crafting to stock these. The items that I'm carrying inside this vault, whenever I'm doing like remote contraption building, should be easily restockable with a crafting table and a stone cutter. So like, I don't really need auto-crafting for these guys on either end. But several of these items are things that I already have auto-crafted. And I think for now, I actually want to go ahead and start getting them sent over. I want this thing to auto-stock. Granted, I do kind of already have a lot of these things stocked up, but for now, that should be perfectly fine. I don't want to strain my materials too much. I really don't have a lot in my system. In fact, I just made that massive order of logs in the last episode, and I think I'm literally almost already out. Oh God, I only have 200 left. I pulled 18 stacks, guys. I pulled 18 stacks and I have 200 left. Matter, buddy. Open the log shop. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, and you know, I'm in need of materials because I'm about to start a bunch of stuff auto-crafting, I think I'm going to head on over to Giselle's and pull a bunch of iron because I got that awesome contract now that I can just go pull iron whenever I want. I just got to make sure he has some left in the system. As you can also see, we've done quite a bit of terraforming in the area. I also made that rock wall. Which, like, we're going to do a quick little side tangent here. I kind of wanted to talk about this because I was like, in the great state of Tennessee that I live in, we have mountains. We're kind of at like the foothills of the Appalachians. And so whenever we ran interstates or train lines or anything like that, and we had to carve away a big part of a hill, it leaves behind layers of sediment and limestone. And I wanted to kind of recreate that with this thing that we had here because they ended up just creating this channel. And I was like, this is a pretty cool opportunity. A common theme that you see in those rock walls is the drill marks that they use before they blast. They'll actually drill down into the earth and then they blast off the limestone or whatever. And I wanted to kind of recreate that with some of these copycat slices, and I think it works pretty accurately. Now, in a real rock wall, these would actually be set inside the rock. They wouldn't be poking out because this is where a drill ran down. But from a distance, you can't really tell, and I think it kind of works. Like, that looks like the drill marks that you would see in a rock wall, right? I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a bit Minecrafty, but I like it. It's cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and... Perfect. You still got 2,200 left in there. And I can go ahead and throw the rest of this back in my system. Meaning there's at least one material that I'm not, you know, in dire need of. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to move that chain conveyor right there. It's a little bit clippy on that cliff face. Ooh, and you know what else I can grab while I'm down here? A ton more cardboard. And by cardboard, I mean like, you know, bamboo that I can use to make cardboard. You know what I mean. And if I go ahead and set up this for my iron blocks right here, I can pull them from my system automatically, and that means I'm not filling up my entire storage with tons and tons of iron. Wow, free iron is really nice. And you know what? I was about to start setting up some auto crafting and some factory gauges and things to actually start exporting some of the items over to our toolboxes. I think in my beacon, I'm pretty sure I have a ton of logs because before I started this episode, I chopped down the forest that's below my base. But yeah, look at this. Free and clear. I think I want to do a little bit of decoration down here. I don't want this to be just like a bunch of moss carpets with lights underneath because it looks kind of cursed. I think we could probably outfit this with something a little bit cooler. Bacon. Ooh. Sounds mod is cool. It's really cool. That happens from the positive effect of the haste, actually, by the way. But yeah, I have a bunch of logs in here. Not a ton. Not a ton. Definitely not 18 stacks, but some. Oh, man. The rare opportunity I actually get to fly up to my base. It's kind of cool. So if I take a bunch of these logs, dump them into my system here, and actually I think those birch logs won't do anything because I don't have any of the automation pulling up birch logs. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's get a few things in place so that I don't completely deplete my resources. I want to get probably a way to automatically make this stuff. And since it's a mixing recipe, I kind of wonder if I could add one more module to this line or maybe put it in here. It is a pretty simple mixing recipe. I wonder, can I just put a packager like right there with a frog port on top? I'm just going to call this the alloy mixer. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then if I can throw one of these on top here, and I can. So if I send things over to an alloy mixer like andesite and iron nuggets, alloy mix, and then I set the target amount to, I don't know, how much is like 6 stacks? Oh, and I've got 24. Perfect. Oh, I don't have very many. Ooh, that might be something I have to solve today. But hey, at least I have the process in place. But maybe if I do like 32 and 32, that might be better. All right, let's start stocking stuff. Okay, that's all of them connected to this one frog now. And I have automation for this, and that already. I think I need to set these to have a threshold. Let's do like 2 stacks of shafts. We'll do 2 stacks of these, 2 stacks of those. I don't have any automation for these guys. Don't have automation for that, but I can now get that one set up. Hey, look at that. It's already stocked. Now, the last thing that I think I want to talk about before I get too deep into this, like what happens if I just remove that? It says 0, but it's not going to call for any new stuff because there's nowhere to put it out to, I think. And then when it goes back, it's fine. So if I just kind of... I mean, it looks good to me. Freaking heck, dude. I'm not requesting too many items. It's fine. It's just kind of cool with it. I thought I was going to have to maybe set up some redstone to like lock the network once I picked up this thing, but all seems well and good to me. These are done. That one's done. I want to get a request for this one and this one. Those are pretty easy. This one I think is also pretty easy. And man, I really should set this wall up elsewhere. I think I'm going to end up needing this and like feel like I'm putting all this together only to have to take it apart later, which normally I'm kind of fine with, but also, I haven't really talked about this, but I did set up a middle segment here. There's the loading bay down there. We have the bridge access up there. But for this, I kind of just wanted to use this room for like some small automation things that I can send right into my system without really needing to request them from like modules up there. Maybe I might be able to use this wall. The question is, if I was to take this guy, how far can I relocate it to? Oh, it won't even let me relocate it to there. This is going to strain my system a little bit, I think. It's going to take a second. But if I request 20 of those to here, give this one that name. Yes. Ooh, that's cool. All right, so I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to go ahead and set up all the auto stuff for all of this stuff behind me, but I'm also going to move that wall up there, and I'm probably going to time lapse this because this is going to be super boring. It's going to take forever, and yeah, I'll bring you back whenever I'm done. Let's do it. All right, so I have done quite a bit. I have now laid out a lot of new processes, a few things that are quite simple and a few things that are a little bit more advanced. Lowering the number of items that I need to restock manually by quite a bit. Anywhere you see a little bit of green, like on the top of this, like a kind of like a light bulb, means that it is it's connected to the network and requesting, and that it is fulfilled. Anytime you see a red one, it means it's still working on it. Like this guy right here, still working on it. And then this one, I think this one's actually just not connected. Hey, there we go. Still quite a bit of ways to go to get all of these automated up, but we're getting there. And I had a bit of a thought. I'm sick of having to run between my storage room, my mobile storage room, and my front console there, but whenever I need an item that's in here or an item that's in there or whatever. It's annoying, and so I was like, you know what? It's time. I think this initial system that I set up, it's actually kind of too slow anyway. I realize it's only been like a single episode, but this does not have to look this way. I don't have to have a belt here, which is slowing things down. I don't have to do any of that nonsense. I can remove those, and all of these packages can be hooked up to chutes, hooked up to portable storage interfaces, and they would make it that much faster. And I can actually also add one here for my mobile storage room. I think I'm just going to kind of like tear into the ground here. But yeah, I just need a bunch of portable storage interfaces, which I can now craft very easily because a lot of that stuff is automated for me. All I need are a few chutes, a couple casing, a few copycat pipes, and since we want them to look pretty, industrial iron. This belt is a little bit crucial for how the chains and everything are running, and I think that belt up there, which is our input, maybe I go ahead and swap these out actually. This is going to temporarily break the system. That should get everything working again. And I might actually be able to do this a little bit simpler if I'm smart about this. Place that back in the world. I did remove the blocks that would break whenever this gets placed back in the world, so that should be fine. Wow. Oh, and I do kind of want this to look nice, so... And so now all I need to do is connect up a couple more portable storage interfaces to this guy. What if I just kind of do like this and that? And then if I do a couple chutes, I can take my packagers. They'll pull into that portable storage interface. And then if I go ahead and relink this to that same network, I can do one of these on top of this packager right here, or on the side, doesn't really matter. And then one packager facing into this one here. Yeah, that should make this a heck of a lot faster, actually. Now I just got to get this super glued to that same contraption. And then obviously we still have to add the one for our mobile storage room. And with a quick little pipe right there, yeah, that's not very aesthetically pleasing. Maybe I can just kind of do that and then give this a bit of super glue. And then from here, all I should have to do is drop this back down right there. And all of our portable storage interfaces should lock up. Yes. And now I can access both this system and the one up there from the console. Let's see, what's something that's only in here? Pale oak. Dude, let's go. That's so cool. And I think that is probably a little bit faster. I don't want to get too deep in the rabbit hole of all of these brass age items, but there is one recipe that I would absolutely love to never have to craft again, and that would be this guy right here, the threshold switch. It's literally, it sucks so much. So I think maybe we set up a few crafting trees just to get this guy up and running. Now, this crafting tree will require stone, which means I think I'm going to have to cook cobblestone. And with these factory gauges, if I go ahead and attune to the same network, I can go ahead and start setting up the tree. And I've just realized I need to have brass casing for this, and that's not happening. I'm going to go ahead and start with rose quartz, which I need to have a redstone for, and a quartz for. And I can go ahead and set a threshold of, like, let's just keep, like, something small, like 2 in the system. If I pop into free cam, I can kind of see this happen. Bada bing. And so then from there, we're going to want to send those on over to make polished rose quartz. Set the threshold to 2 as well. Then over here at the grindstone, it should... There it is. From there, I can set up my electron tubes, but I only need a iron sheet. I'm going to set this one to 2 as well. I can go ahead and set up the request for comparators. Now, I think I'm going to do comparators right up here because I need to make redstone torches. I can set this target amount to 32, and that's going to start crafting up our sticks. Set the connections for this. I'm also going to need something to smelt cobblestone. And this is actually important because I need to actually set up a different filter for our blast processing. Over here at our blast smelter, I can go ahead and grab out the filter here, and we can see this is an attribute filter set to deny items that can be smelted. Now that's perfect and all, but stone can also be smelted. So I need to actually set this inside of a list filter as an allow list. And then also I think I'm going to throw stone in here So it's saying either it can be smelted or it's stone, and then it will allow it through that filter there. Now, we need to test that really quick. And once this smelts, it should get input. There it goes. Now that means if I ever need a bunch of smooth stone, I'll have to do that manually. I'll have to probably pull this filter or invert the funnel or something like that, and then I just have to pick it up myself. That's like the one kind of quirk to these attribute filters, but all other times it works perfectly fine. Now I have an automated process set up for that, and we can go ahead and send, well, let's keep a stock of like 3 stacks on hand. So it's gonna go ahead and actually request that up. This is going to need a connection of stone. It's going to need a connection of this. And it's also going to need a connection of quartz. And we're getting some in. Nice. Now, the last thing we need to do for this process is brass casing, which is, it's like a whole separate tree that I just do not have the infrastructure for. But I can go ahead and set this up as a brass casing. And for now, whatever I have in my storage network is what I'll use. And then from here, I just need a threshold switch. And then I need to connect it up. Set that to mechanically craft, and we'll say we want 2 of these at a time. Now it's not going to actually be able to complete that request because we have none of those in the system. So let's pull some out, and I'll go toss this into my system. Now I'll have to set up a module of each of these for each of the casings that I want to create. But now if I run back over to here, I should be able to set this threshold as, let's do 10 for now. I don't want to like break the bank. Oh yeah, I also need that. Ooh, you know what? This is also one that I can do. I want to have a half a stack of these. I just need to set up a tree for that one. Add a connection. Give me a casing there. And we'll keep like 5 of these in stock. And this thing should be running for a little bit to try and catch back up, but, oh, target address. Oops. And now we have the most annoying crafting recipe completely auto-crafted. I love that I don't have to do this anymore. And yeah, I think I've showcased how this system should work pretty well. I think in the long run, I could probably move this one forward to give me access to those middle ones, or lay these out in a line. A line would probably be easier. Probably should have done a line because I can't access these guys on more than one face. Oh, except this is missing an address. I didn't. Yeah, I just realized that. Oh, I need a recipe for that. Now this episode thus far has been a significantly more techie episode. I didn't really get the chance to do a lot of building or anything like that, but there is 2 more things, or maybe 3, I don't know. A few more things that I want to do before we completely close out. First and foremost, I'm in the crawl space underneath my workshop right here, and I have chain conveyor set up to spin the cog wheels down below the workshop area of my base, and I want those to spin. And that's moving real slow. It's functioning, but it's moving real slow. And from the outside, it's just a little bit of motion. Again, nothing insane. And now all of them are moving. Nice! And way back in the back here, where it's slightly less accessible, I should have, and I do, have a few of these alternators set up. Now all I need to do is grab a few connectors and some wire. And if I go ahead and connect up all of these to this connector here, I can already hear it working. Yo, we've got motion. Oh, we're missing something here. What's going on? 0 energy. Did that work? There we go. Real slow, but it's working. Movement. And second to the last is this thing that I made up in the last episode and never really got the chance to use. This is the Dreams and Desires hydraulic press. Essentially, it does some fancy stuff that normal presses can't do. I can create basalt 10 at a time by pumping lava into a basin with soul soil and blue ice. I can create netherrack with some fancy stuff called breccia and cinderflower. And I can create cobblestone with water and lava. 2 things that are easily accessible for me. Now, do I want their cobblestone? No, not really. But I do want andesite, and that can be made from gravel and flint. So if I make a hydraulic press, produce cobblestone, grind that right away into gravel, and then split that gravel, making half of it into flint, I can make andesite here in my base. And that's, I think legitimately, with this thing, it's only going to cost a few blocks of space. Oh, and I kind of forgot to include this earlier, but I did a deal with Matter. I gave him tons of blaze rods, and I wasn't recording. I have a little bit of a replay mod footage thing of me picking up the items, but I now have 12,000 oak logs. He sent me like an entire inventory full of packages of oak logs. It was a lot. It's a lot of logs, and so I should be good on logs for a while. But this will be like the last component to make me kind of like self-sufficient. Now, lava comes in right there-ish, and if I can get another pump on that same line, I think in this little like 3x3 area right there, I think I can legitimately make an andesite farm. It's gonna be so compact. Yes, indeed. I can, in fact, pull lava from this. I wonder, could I just like stick out the side and then go up? Like there's literally pipe right there. Wait, am I kind of a genius for doing this? Yeah, what if I just like send out a pipe like right here, go down, over, and then up on the outside and just ship the lava up that way? That would be kind of hilarious. And I think with a little bit of bracket action, that can be our pipe of lava. God, genuinely, this base looks so cool sometimes. Oh, I know I'm patting myself on the back, but geez, it looks so cool. All right, and now that I have the lava up here, or maybe I should work backward here. Let's do something to input the andesite into the system. And I don't even think I need to have this chain conveyor spinning. If I specify the same spot on the chain conveyor, I think I can actually just have one down here. Packager off the back, right here, specifying that spot, and put that there. I think if I have something sent to that spot, let's just toss in one of those. You're going to be a butt about this. I wonder if I just have the chain conveyor rotate. Yo, that totally works. I don't even need chains. Okay, so after a bunch of lag issues, I finally have a stable connection to the server for some reason. And I think I've kind of changed priorities here. What I want to do, I still want to use the frog to connect to this one little chain drive thing. But I think instead of trying to generate the materials down here, what instead I want to do is I want to just go ahead and get a cobble gen running and inputting into a vault, having that vault call to the main storage network, and then creating the andesite up in our main workshop up there. It simplifies this space a little bit more, and it means that I can use more of these walls for this type of stuff. I started to build it out, and I was like running out of room really fast. So I think this is a little bit of a better solution. And that should be both the water and the lava good to go. Now I've just got to route power to this and give this a frog port. Now if I flip this, I'm going to get lava into this cauldron here, or basin, whatever it's called. And then I just need to pull power from here. And there we go. Now if I go ahead and get some water out, I'm not getting any water. Well, that works. That's annoying. And we're generating cobblestone. Sick. Now I just need to get this guy a little bit of a pulse timer. Actually, I think I could do this with factory gauges. Maybe use the factory gauge as like the final like little thing that we can do to connect this. Check this out. If I go ahead and sync up to this network right here, and I want to request cobblestone to be made, I can then grab a redstone link, and by linking it to this guy, like so, all I gotta do is put it in receive mode, add a connection, and now this is linked to this redstone link. Since we're on a server and we all have designated our own item to use as part of our redstone link array, I can grab some terracotta and some cobblestone. I don't know. Let's just say we want 10 stacks. I want this to trigger. Oh, I guess I did that the other way around. I put that in receive mode, but I want this to power on whenever I go above the 10 stacks that are required here, right? And then I'm going to use this signal to send the items, or rather stop sending the items. This guy's going to run passively, so it's pretty much always going to be generating cobblestone until it fills up, and then the items just sit here. But when I need cobblestone, I want to be requesting it. So let's grab another redstone link. And I think I'm realizing that I need to invert this. So I'm gonna have to do that on the receiving end, I believe. I think by giving this a redstone signal with my terracotta cobblestone combination, setting that to receive mode, grabbing a redstone torch, except I'm realizing that I'm gonna depower that light, which I don't love. Now, whenever this thing is fulfilled, yeah, it should turn off. Okay, no, I've done it right. I just kind of tripped myself up there for a second. But yeah, if I go ahead and set this back up to, let's just say 30 stacks, which we have more than 30 stacks in our system right now. But now I have cobblestone in the system, and I can, using our crushing setup and stuff, I can send things over to be crushed into gravel and then washed into flint. And this episode is getting a little bit long, so I decided instead of making you watch another block placing montage, this is how I'm producing flint. I'm automatically sending gravel over to our crushing wheel setup, and then the system has a factory gauge down below here requesting flint as well. It pulls the gravel from the system, which I keep a stock of about 5 stacks, and it sends it over to here, a stack at a time. These are millstones, and whenever you send gravel through a millstone, you get a 100% chance of producing a flint. So I'm not doing any guesswork by washing it or whatever, and it processes down through these 4 millstones and gets sent back through this output, which is actually the one we're borrowing from our precision mechanism crafter. It'll send it right back to the line, and this pulses it every once in a while, and it sends it over to the main storage. From there, I made this fancy little Andesite creator. Essentially, I have my input frog. This is like the same as every other module around here. Input frog, basin, which has what we're going to be using to make the Andesite, a press up above, a rolling table into an output, and then this guy, once it hits a full stack, it'll actually send the full stack in a single package. Whew, what an episode. All the progress was made today. It's kind of crazy. And I am just stoked with how this place is starting to come out. I'm not gonna have to craft stuff anymore. I'm gonna just have stuff. It's just gonna be in my storage. This is amazing. Ugh, I just want to keep going. I always just want to keep going all the time. But unfortunately, I think that's where I'm gonna have to leave it. But before I do, there is one last thing I would like to do. A couple episodes back, we had a name suggestion competition, sort of. I don't know, I just asked people to name the ship in the comments. And we had a ton of awesome suggestions. I would like to officially christen this the MSPC Victory. Look, it's got Vi in the name, man. I am nothing if not vain. And this actually is kind of cool. Now, this part is inspired by the comment. They said MSSC, and I decided instead of a star cruiser, which I think would actually be a lot bigger because a cruiser is a big old ship, and this is a patrol cruiser. So this is the MakeShift Patrol Cruiser Victory. Absolutely love the comments. Thank you so much for all your suggestions. There was a couple really, really good ones, and if I end up doing any spaceships in the future, and you can bet that I'm probably going to use those names, they were freaking awesome. And I kind of want to see this with the shaders. Ooh. Oh, man. I want to run these shaders all the time. I freaking love it. MSPC Victory. I freaking love it. We got to get another sign for the other side. And maybe I'll end up dyeing them a different color so they stand out a little bit better. But absolutely goated comment by Archimedes. Thank you so much for the suggestion. And I think that is officially where I'm going to have to leave it. I appreciate you so much for watching. If you like the video, like it. And if you want to subscribe, do it. And I will see you in the next one. But look at this place, man. It's really starting to come together. I'm stoked. And look at Stock's build in the back there. Freaking cool. First skyscraper of the server. Let's go.